Welcome to Project One. Building a strong community takes each one of us, and Project One is the place to start. 1 hour, one person, one life changed. On today's show, we'll feature an organization that is changing lives and transforming our community. So get ready to be inspired. Here's the host of Project One, Jan Johnson.
We want to welcome you to Project One today, and we just hope that you have had an incredible week of Thanksgiving where you've had the opportunity to be with family, enjoy the food, and enjoy the things of just what this time of year means, being thankful for all that we have had provided to us and given to us throughout this past year. And one of the things I'm so thankful for is our organization, Salem Media Group, that is allowing this show, Project One, to air every week and bring incredible organizations that are making a difference in the lives of individuals in San Antonio. And I'm also thankful for the partnership with Documation that makes this possible, and also San Antonio Christian Leadership Forum, who prays for this program every week and prays for the organizations that come in that indeed through this program we can make a difference in the lives. And as I was preparing for today's show, I read this great little quote that said, "Appreciation is a wonderful thing. It makes what is excellent in others belong to us as well." And as I read that, I thought about our guest today, and I'm thrilled to have in studio Robbie Floyd, who is the Executive Director for Dress for Success. And I want to welcome you today. And it truly does reflect kind of the heart and the mission of Dress for Success, that it makes what is excellent in others belong to us as well, because of what it is that you guys are doing. So tell us about Dress for Success and how you're involved with them.
Well, I'm the executive director, as you said, and Dress for Success is actually a worldwide organization, and we are one of over 300 affiliates in the United States.
Wow, I did not know there was that many.
And yes, and the one in San Antonio, our actual name is Dress for Success San Antonio, okay. And we are one of the most comprehensive programs in the United States of Dress for Success, and I'll explain that. Dress for Success itself, the base service that it offers is interview clothing and new employment clothing for low-income women who are 18 and older.
Oh, my goodness.
That's the basics.
Okay.
Now, we do a whole lot more than that, not only for women, but we also have some services for men under a different name, which I'll tell you about. But first, with Dress for Success, in addition to providing interview clothing and new employment clothing, we provide education about how to dress for interviews and for whatever job you got.
Sure.
We provide job readiness services that include helping clients with resumes, helping them with career assessments on the computer. We have a career center, computerized career center that we work with them on, where they can take all kinds of online programs for free, and just work with them on being prepared for that interview.
Sure.
And then being prepared for the job, whichever job they get. So that's our basic services. We also our parent organization also implements a program called Career Gear that is for men.
Okay.
So we Career Gear is our brother.
Yeah, there you go.
It's not us, it's our brother. And it's a national organization with 5 affiliates in the country, and we're one of those. And it basically does the same thing for men and helps them with job readiness and interview clothing and new employment clothing, and some other services that we're working on growing for men, because our women's services are a lot bigger now than our men's services.
Sure. So how did you get involved with it, Robbie?
Well, it's an interesting story. I have a 33-year background in nonprofits, starting in the Corpus Christi area, which is where I was raised, and I've worked in substance abuse counseling. I've been a probation officer. I've done crime victim advocacy.
Wow.
And I've been in executive positions at 2 different arts organizations, one in Arkansas, in a small town in Arkansas, and another one in Houston. And so I have a very well-rounded nonprofit background. I've been doing some consulting in the San Antonio area for a while. And, one thing the nonprofit world likes to say about San Antonio is it's all who you know.
That's so true in many aspects.
Someone I know knew someone at Dress for Success when they needed an interim executive director last year. And so I ended up in that position for almost 8 months. and then they hired an executive director. She's been there for a while, and now she's moved on to something else, and they needed an executive director again, so they called me back.
Wow.
And so,
and hopefully it's not for the interim. Hopefully you're there for the long haul.
I'm the executive director, and it's really great because they already felt like family to me.
Yeah.
I'm very passionate about the mission. I believe, as I think most people do, that having gainful employment is one of the things
Yes.
that builds everyone's well-being and self-esteem,
Yes.
and not only that, but enables them to take care of themselves and their families and to give back to the community.
And many individuals may have the knowledge base and have the skills to get a job, but sometimes due to situations that have happened in their lives may not have the resources to look prepared on the outward
Yes.
for these. How would someone find out about you guys, and what is the application process?
Most people who come to us for services are referred to us by either another social service agency or some other nonprofit agency that they're doing work with of some kind. Some are coming from the criminal justice system. We have veterans who are coming who are trying to transition back into the civilian life.
Yeah, sure. Which that's hard. And
we have a lot of women who come from domestic violence situations. And, occasionally we have someone that just heard about us and comes in on their own and wants to talk to us. We work with people all the way from the ones who have never had a job in their lives to the people who have...
There's really people out there like that?
There are really adults out there like that. Or whatever their life circumstances have been, they just haven't accomplished that yet.
Wow.
And all of our clients are 18 and older and low income, would qualify for government assistance whether they're on it or not.
Sure.
But occasionally we have someone come in, and I can think of one woman in particular who was in last year when I was there, who had a whole 15 or 20 year career, and some things had happened in her life. She had lost that.
Wow.
And had fought through some struggles of whatever kind, and was now trying to get back into that, but didn't have the money because she didn't have a job.
Yeah, sure.
And so, very bright, articulate woman with all kinds of skills, but she just needed, not only something to wear, but just some moral support, some
Sure.
emotional support. We do offer some group training and activities, and she participated in one of those, and that introduced her to about 12 or 15 other women who were in similar situations, and they all
So
became
she knew she
friends.
wasn't alone.
Yes, they're all friends, and they support each other. And we also have a professional women's group. So once you are employed, you can join the professional women's group. And then we have all kinds of programs for the people who are already employed on career development, on self-care and personal growth, and on financial literacy and several other things.
Because some of those things, once you get the job, it doesn't necessarily, the tough times in your life don't necessarily stop. You still have to get that encouragement,
Right.
and probably some guidance.
Definitely some guidance, because if you are one of those people who's either never worked before or never kept jobs before,
Sure.
Then you need to know how to do that. But also, you may not even know how to balance a checkbook.
Right.
And
Right.
things like so. We have quite a learning curve, and we provide services that help everybody on almost everywhere on that spectrum.
So how did this individual do? Did she get the job?
She got the job she was applying for, and last I heard, she's just doing great.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Well, again, I am talking with Robbie Floyd, who is the Executive Director for Dress for Success San Antonio, and also their partner organization, which is Career Gear for Guys. And there is lots of different opportunities, I'm sure, for people to get in touch with you as far as different ways. And, of course, we will have all of the contact information, how you can get in touch with them, by going to the station's website and clicking on the tab Project One, and you'll find all of the information there. But when you think about Dress for Success, do you have a facility that people would come down to? And talk us through, where is it and what does it look like?
We're located at 600 North Frio. We're almost right across the street from Haven for Hope.
Okay.
And we do get some people from Haven for Hope that are trying to transition out of homelessness, get jobs so they can not be homeless anymore. That's not where all of our clients come from, of course, but that's where we're located. The building was, we were able to purchase it in 2012 because of a $1 million donation from Valero Energy Company.
Wow.
And it used to be an old post office. So a lot of people, when I go, it used to be a post office, they're like, oh, I know which building you're talking about.
Okay,
It's on the
sure.
corner of Frio and Pettis, and right there across from Haven for Hope. And that's a really nice thing for us because we're actually 15 years old this year, and we're celebrating that, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But for most of those 15 years, up until 2012, we moved like 8 or 9 times. At one point, we were in the basement of the Wonderland of the Americas Mall.
Wow.
And many other places.
Yeah.
So we're very happy to have a permanent home.
You've got a home that you can
Got a
actually
home.
set it up. And from what I've heard, because I've not had the privilege of coming down and seeing it, which I would love to.
Well, we'll fix that.
Absolutely. Is that you are really like a really nice store.
We like to think so. When you first walk in, you're going to see a little, waiting area where clients are waiting for their appointments, and we do work by appointment. We take walk-ins when we have free time to do that. But and then once you get inside the main area, you'll see the career center off to one side with all the computers. Usually there's a client or two or more sitting there at the computers, and some volunteer or staff member is working with them one-on-one to
That's
help them out.
terrific.
We've also got our client services people. You'll see their little spaces where they meet with the clients individually and get their background information and figure out what their needs are. But if you go into our dressing area, which we call our boutique, you will think it looks like a boutique. And, our clients are, very special to us, very important to
Yes.
us. That's our reason for being there. And so many of the women have never been treated the way you're treated in a nice boutique.
Right. They probably would never even think that they were worthy enough to step
Right.
into a place
and
like
so
that.
we try to treat them the way, the wealthy people get treated in a nice boutique.
Well, we're going to stop right there because I want to hear more about that, and we're going to go to break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Documation cares deeply for our community in South and West Texas, and we do as much as we possibly can to give back, be charitable and generous, and be caring for the community. There are very few nonprofits that we would be aware of at this point that we are not involved with, either volunteering or giving to, and we love it. It gives us purpose. It gives us passion for our jobs. Being a technology company isn't the most fun of all focuses, and when we get to focus on giving back to others, like every holiday season, we have our DocuElves where we give to over 80 families a month and a half worth of food and supplies, as well as gifts for each child, or for the upcoming fall festival, giving away to needy families. It goes on and on and on. Actually, we're an art gallery at Documation because our art is donated to purposes to raise money for nonprofits. It's in us. It's our DNA. We love it. We're thankful to be invested in our community.
We want to welcome you back to Project One, and we just hope that you're taking the time to enjoy this wonderful season of Thanksgiving. And I'm so thankful that you join us on a weekly basis, or that you catch up with us even on our website or through podcasts, where you can find out how you can be thankful by giving back to organizations in our community throughout the year. And I'm just thrilled to sit here at Documation headquarters, where we are in our Project One studio here, to be able to bring to you these amazing organizations. And I've got Robbie Floyd, the Executive Director for Dress for Success of San Antonio, here. And you, before the break, you were talking about the boutique. And when I think of a boutique, there's been even times, Robbie, that I've walked into certain stores and I might not be dressed to the max. I might have just gone and run errands and thought, well, I'm just going to pop in there. And sometimes the look I've been given, like, you're shopping here? And I'm thinking, yeah, I could afford to shop here. And yes, I can do it. But the look, the perception. So I can just imagine what someone who is maybe underprivileged and has never had that experience, how fulfilling and how self-gratifying, and it helps their self-esteem to come to your boutique. So explain what that's all about.
We have, in the boutique area, we have a very large full-length mirror that's surrounded by bling, shiny, bling. And we call it our transformation mirror. And what happens is truly a transformation, and it has very little to do with clothes. It has to do with a woman walks in, And just the mere fact that she is in need of our services means that something's not going particularly well in her life.
Yeah.
And she's downtrodden, and she may feel like she's been rejected by everybody and everything, and she may have been abused by somebody. Who knows what kind of situation. But you know what body language looks like when someone is in that mode. Then you work with them on finding just the right outfit with just the right fit and the colors that look good on them, and you educate them about how things should fit and what colors do look good on them and what's appropriate for an interview or what's appropriate for their new job or whatever. And then you send them into the dressing room with an armful of things to try on. And they walk out in one of the outfits and look at themselves in that mirror, and the transformation happens.
Wow.
And it's all of a sudden they're standing up straighter, their shoulders are back, you can tell they feel empowered, they feel proud, they feel beautiful, and they either never have felt that way before or it's been a long time since they felt that way. And, it brings you to tears to see
I'm
it.
sure.
And it brings me to tears to talk about it. It's just the transformation is fantastic. The same thing happens with men in the men's dressing room. A lot of them have never worn a suit before.
Wow.
And things like that. So it's like we like to say we're about so much more than just clothes.
Yes.
We're about transformation.
Well, and you are building up the self-esteem of these individuals, and if they feel good about themselves, then they're going to perform well in a career and advance forward based on how they're feeling.
Exactly.
So tell us a little bit, Robbie, of how our listeners can help your organization and how can they get involved. Of course, Project One is all about giving back. 1 hour, one person, one life changed. And how could our listeners be that to your clients?
Well, there's several ways. One is when you clean out your closets, male or female, and you have professional clothing that you're not wearing anymore for whatever reason, as long as it's still in good shape, donate it to us, because all of our clothing is donated to us. So,
and the key's professional clothing.
We will take other things, but what we need the most of is the professional clothing. And we take other things because we have we call it a donation depot, where sometimes if our clients just need something to wear for a normal day, they'll come in and pay $1 an item for it.
Oh, my word.
So, and for people who don't have jobs and don't have incomes, even that can be a stretch.
Yeah.
But so we can use other things, but mostly we need professional clothes, shoes, purses, belts, ties,
Sure.
and anything that would go, anything you can think of that you would wear to an interview or that you would wear to a job, and your typical job, not necessarily. Although we could use work clothes too, because sometimes the jobs they get are work jobs.
Sure.
But so that's one way, and you can do that in two ways. You can either bring it right to our offices at 600 North Frio and drop it off with us. Or you can, if it's professional clothes, you can donate it to any 5-star cleaners in town. You tell them it's for Dress for Success. They will clean it and deliver it to us.
Oh, my
and
word.
And it costs you nothing. And there's 16 5-star cleaners in town, so there's bound to be one near you.
And we will put that link also on this station's website, where you can find one conveniently located to where you live, and you can just drop, oh my gosh.
Yes, we have a great partnership with them. And so then the other ways, whatever company you work for, you could do a clothing drive within your company. It could be a whole company or business effort. We also, of course, just like any nonprofit, take money donations.
Absolutely.
And we take those from corporate sources and foundation sources and individual sources, and are just always happy to get money donations. And then the third way is if you actually think you might like to do something to either work with our clients with us or help us out in some other way that helps us to provide the services for our clients. So, you could work directly with clients as a volunteer, or you could work with our resource development department as a volunteer, or you could work with our operations and administration as a volunteer. And among the contact information we'll give you is how to contact the volunteer coordinator.
Now, what if there is a professional that is out there and thinks, I've got a couple hours a month that I could come down and hold a class on how to be in an interview. I know for our radio stations, I do all of the human resources and do the interviewing for positions that we have open. And there are a lot of individuals that come to do an interview that are not prepared at all.
Right.
But I think if I had a couple hours, I could come down and teach a class on how to do an interview and what to do. What if our listeners are interested in doing something like that?
Contact us and let us know of those interests, because
Okay.
we do training on that, but we also have group programs, as I said earlier, that have a lot of different topics that we work on. We welcome professional volunteers from the community to come in and help us with those, or be the presenter for whatever topic. We've had a financial literacy course that we're kind of in limbo with that right now, so if there's somebody that could help us with something like that. If you just want to do a one-time thing,
Sure.
we do mock interviews.
That's
so
great.
you could come in and be an interviewer
Yeah.
for a couple of hours and do mock interviews. So I would just say, if a thought pops in your mind of a way you could help, contact us and let us know, and the chances are really good we could put you to work.
Have you ever thought about having a career fair where organizations could possibly come and what they would pay to go to a job fair? Because a lot of times, I know for myself, we participate in several different job fairs to look for candidates for different positions, and you pay good money for that, but they could come down and then interview your clients as well. So that's just a little idea, and if there's organizations out there that think, I would go down there and the money could go towards Dress for Success of San Antonio and hold that career fair, that would be amazing. So if that transpires, if that little seed just gets watered and you do something about it, let us know, and let us know how we can help support and promote
That's
that.
amazing. And I always tell people, don't say it if you don't mean it, because
Yes.
we'll take you up on it.
Exactly. So as we get ready to wrap up, just tell us, Robbie, what would be kind of in a nutshell that you would describe to our listeners about why Dress for Success is so important and why volunteers are so important within your organization?
I'm going to tell you that, and then real quickly about our gala that's coming
Yes.
up. So the reason why it's important is because having adults be gainfully employed is important.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to the adults themselves, financially, self-esteem wise, family wise, and every way. It's important to their kids and to their
Yes.
spouses and to anyone else who depends on them. And it's important for the economy of San Antonio.
Yes.
Because they then become taxpayers and contributors to the economy and the society itself. And people, when they're employed and they get back on their feet, are more likely to go out and donate to and volunteer for other organizations that
Right.
need their help. So
Right.
it helps all of us. And just really quickly, I'm going to tell you that our annual Taste of Success Casino Night is going to be held October 27th, which is just in a couple of weeks, at the Whitty Museum. And
Okay, stop. Shemaiah, we can't put that part in
okay, the casino.
because it's going to be airing after
You're
the
right.
date.
Never mind.
So let's just re-pick back up, and you can just talk about annually around October you have a gala.
I can do that.
Okay.
Just any time.
Yep.
Okay. So every October, toward usually the last Friday of October, we have our annual biggest fundraiser is our Taste of Success Casino Night.
Oh, how fun.
And we hold that at different venues, but what it is we've grown from 20 to now 30 or 35, I think, restaurants of the best restaurants in town will come, and they'll have a booth set up, and they'll provide food for everyone to taste. And then we have, you buy chips and so forth, and you do casino activities.
So you've just had that event, but make sure that you check out their website to find out when you can get more information about it for next year's event. But that's one of your major fundraisers that
That's
you do?
our biggest fundraiser at this point. And it's always a lot of fun. It's not a sit-down dinner. It's a lot of fun. There's a silent auction, there's raffles, drawings, and there's music and dancing.
How fun. How fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Well, it is, again, just a privilege to have Robbie Floyd, the Executive Director for Dress for Success, in studio here out at our location at Documation, where Project One records our programs that we bring to you on a weekly basis. And if it wasn't for philanthropic organizations like Documation and also the prayerful support of the San Antonio Christian Leadership Forum and amazing organizations like the one that Robbie serves at we wouldn't be able to come to you on a weekly basis. And as we get ready to wrap up this program, Robbie, I just want to thank you. Thank you for filling in when you needed to fill in, but also just kind of taking the charge and taking Dress for Success San Antonio to the next level. And we're just privileged to be able to highlight you this week of Thanksgiving. And we just want to tell you thank you for what you're doing and giving back to the citizens of San Antonio.
Thank you so much, Jan.
Well, we want to thank you again for joining us. We hope to not hear you next week. Maybe one time we'll have to have a live call-in show, but come to you next week and bring to you another incredible organization that we will feature. We hope you have a great day, and we will talk to you next week.